741 News Radio 1029 KARN. Let's have a conversation with Senator Tom Cotton. Good morning to you, sir. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Kevin. Good to be on with you.
Thank you for being here. You were in the news over your comment involving slavery, and I'm going to let you explain that. What happened there?
Well, Kevin, I introduced legislation that said your tax dollars should not be going to support the 1619 Project,
Which is
a far-left project of the New York Times. It is historical revisionism. The whole objective of the 1619 Project is to teach our children that America was not founded on the principle of freedom, but founded on the principle of racism, and that America is fundamentally rotten and racist to its core and from its beginning. That's been debunked by leading historians of the era of both the center right and the center left. Even the author now has admitted that it is not a work of history. It is a work of journalism. I would say a work of activism. Remember, last month, whenever some radical left-wingers pulled down a statue of George Washington, they painted 1619 on that statue once they pulled it down. And someone observed maybe we should call these the 1619 riots. And the author of that project said that it would be an honor in her opinion.
Right.
Our tax dollars should not be going to support that kind of curriculum, and the New York Times should not be teaching American history to our kids.
Senator Tom Cotton, News Radio 1029 KARN. I mean, why even say that statement? Why put that out there?
What, Kevin, to say that America...
We're breaking up again. Let's pivot on this too. I didn't quite hear what you said, and we'll try again. TikTok. You have concerns about that. The president does also. Explain what's happening with that one.
Yeah, the problem with TikTok is that what looks like a harmless video app to people who are using it is a Trojan horse on your phone. It's designed to vacuum up all the data on your phone, contacts, emails, text messages, photographs, browser history, and keystrokes. That all goes back to servers in China, which means it's all subject to access by the Chinese Communist Party. So they can use that information to try to influence you, to invade your privacy, to do who knows what with it for decades to come, because, I mean, the TikTok users are obviously very young. So I hope that TikTok, or that Microsoft, can achieve a sale with TikTok that completely cuts off all relationships with its parent company, ByteDance, in China, so Americans can continue to use the app without that threat to their privacy.
Right. Aren't there any number of other apps that do the same type of thing? Why is it just TikTok here such the big deal?
So TikTok is uniquely dangerous because it is Chinese-owned and therefore Chinese-controlled, and also because of the scale of size in the United States, over 100 million download, and finally because it is so popular with young people.
It's Senator Tom Cotton. Senator, let's talk about some of the things that are happening in Congress right now. There's talk of a revamped stimulus for the coronavirus. What do you see happening, and what is your thought about what does need to happen?
Kevin, I think what we need to do is distinguish between needs and wants. What do the American people need? What does the Democratic Party and special interest groups in Washington want? People who are still unemployed, especially in those industries where it's hard to go back to work, like, for instance, restaurants or bars or gyms or airlines or hotels or concert and sporting venues. They still need help. We should give them a little bit more money for unemployment, or small businesses in those industries. We already gave them the Paycheck Protection Program. We should perhaps extend that or give them more flexibility. We need to help schools reopen in a safe and responsible fashion for our students and our teachers. What we don't need to do is throw more money at things that are not going to solve the problem, like sending out checks indiscriminately to people who are not losing income, or bailing out states and cities like Chicago and Illinois, not for the immediate and direct impact of the virus, but for long-standing fiscal mismanagement. Right now, the Democrats are insisting on all these superfluous items that don't really solve the problem of the virus or what the virus has done to our economy.
It's Senator Tom Cotton. Again, we've got the president on one side saying that the death rates are going down. We've got Dr. Burke saying that no, this is really a problem. Where are we with this? What do you see happening with the coronavirus?
Well, it looks tentatively, like cases are starting to level off on the national basis. I think that's in part because in places where you had surges in July, like Texas and Arizona and California, they've been taking steps and people have been putting their guard back up to get the spread of the virus under control. It seems unfortunate, like in some other states, maybe in the Midwest and the Great Plains, numbers may be increasing. This is just going to happen, Kevin, as long as we don't have a vaccine. The disease is highly infectious, and we all have to keep our guard up, and we've got to take prudent, responsible steps in our personal lives, in business, in schools, and in churches. Now, fortunately, the death rates, although they have increased, of course, as cases have increased nowhere near at the same rate, nor compared to what we saw in New York in March and April. And I think that's a real testament to our great doctors and nurses and medical researchers who have learned so much about how to treat the virus and to mitigate its symptoms and reduce the cases that are most severe in putting people in the ICU. That's why death rates and hospitalizations have gone up, of course, with cases, but they haven't gone up at the same rates as cases or what you saw in New York in March and April.
Senator Tom Cotton, we've talked about this before, and you haven't done it, so I'm going to give you the opportunity now. Speculation that, I've seen a couple of articles that say that you may be running for president in 2024. If you'd like to announce your candidacy today, I'm happy to.
Kevin, what I will say that I'm announcing is my wholehearted commitment to making sure Republicans hold on to the Senate this year. You saw what Barack Obama said last week in a eulogy at the funeral of all places, talking about Senate procedure and the need to end the filibuster. And the reason that they want the Democrats want to end the filibuster is they know that their proposals are unpopular. Things like making Washington, D.C. a state or confiscating guns or passing Nancy Pelosi's radical voting rights law or packing the Supreme Court. That's why I've been in places like Tennessee or New Hampshire to campaign. I'm going to places like Colorado and Iowa and North Carolina to campaign because the Senate needs to stay in Republican hands. If Donald Trump gets reelected, we can block the worst of Nancy Pelosi's agenda and confirm the president's judges. But if Joe Biden gets elected, it really is the last bulwark for our traditional system of checks and balances.
All right. Well, if you do decide to run for president in 2024, if you would announce it here, I would be greatly appreciative.
Okay, Kevin.
Senator Tom Cotton, good to have you on this morning. Thanks so much.
Bye.